It's a very interesting one with all the French community of open source. So in Paris for open source experience on November 8 and 9. And also we are very happy to announce that the OSPO Alliance, which is a working group we manage along with Eclipse and some other founders, but mainly Eclipse and W2, working on open source governance and OSPO implementation. And we have a methodology guide, which is called the Good Governance Initiative Handbook, which is now available in English, in German, and the French version is, I should say, coming soon, but it's already available in preview as a book as of now, but it will be online officially in about maybe 10 days. So it is translated now in 3 languages. So feel free to download it or to purchase a version if you prefer a paperback copy. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for that. And so we can directly jump into the talks. The first one, as I said, will be by Athanasios Salamanis, and Athanasios is a senior R&D manager and senior lead software engineer at the Center for Research and Technology Hellas, in short CERTH, in Thessaloniki in Greece. Athanasios has been working for more than 8 years in all phases of the software development lifecycle, and he has been conducting research in high-performance computing, big data analytics, and time series forecasting also for more than 8 years. Athanasios will be speaking about the SmartCLIDE project, and his demo will be called Cloud Computing for Dummies. So, Athanasios, the floor is yours.
Hey, hello everyone. This is Athanasios. Let me share my screen. So I will start with a small presentation that I have prepared. So I'm working as a senior engineer, software engineer on CERTH, and I'm one of the technical leads of the SmartCLIDE project. So to give you a small context, the SmartCLIDE project is a European research project that aims to develop a cloud-based IDE for the discovery, creation, composition, testing, and deployment of data services. It has started on January 2020, and after the extension we have taken, it's going to last up until March of 2023. It has a funding of about 5 million euros and a consortium that consists of 11 partners. So the SmartCLIDE project aims to do the following: to promote and facilitate the adoption of cloud solutions, to simplify software development process, and support the developers with little or no experience into getting into cloud application development, and also to provide tools and services that improve code quality. So some of the key design principles of our project are the following. First of all, everything works on cloud and is targets developers for the cloud. We aim to support the whole software development life cycle, starting from the design of the service and going up to deployment. We are adopting and we are trying to automate all phases of a typical continuous integration, continuous development, deployment pipeline, from coding to test deployment. We aim to provide services and tools that are reusable and can be used for several different types of services. And we also very much support the open source, the whole source code of SmartCLIDE is open source. To give you a very abstract high-level architecture of our project, you can see here a layered architecture that goes from the bottom. We start with the SmartCLIDE backend services that are the core of our functionality, which is provided to users through RESTful APIs. Then we have a complete Eclipse infrastructure, because our whole platform works with the Eclipse ecosystem. And on top of that, we built Eclipse THEA extensions through which the main functionalities of our SmartCLIDE backend services is provided. Finally, on top of that, we have the SmartCLIDE Frontend Cloud IDE, which is the main gateway through which users can communicate and interact with platform. Our target users, we are building an IDE, so our primary set of users is developers, but also we, as I said, we aim to target also people that are having no or little experience with development. So also Scrum Masters, product owners could be some of our target users. Finally, I want to mention that we're going to test our platform into the upcoming period of pilots for several different types of applications, ranging from social security platforms, so social security organizations, up to IoT and product data management. So to give you right now a small demo of our current release of our platform, you can see, first of all, every service that we create into SmartCLIDE, it is connected with a Git repository. So you can see here my GitLab account. I have prepared previously before the call one test service, and I'm going to also create a new one during the session. So we redirect to the IDE. This is the main URL. Okay. We first need to log in and to authenticate as a user. We use Keycloak as our service for user authentication and authorization. So first, the user needs to go and register, make an account through this page, and then go and log in using his credentials. So we are redirected into the main view of our platform. You can see here the introductory page. Here you can see some mock-up workflows, services, and deployments. These are main products that can be designed and delivered through our platforms. You can see that the whole idea of the design is that we have draggable lists in order for the user to get a more personalized view. So in order to create a new service, we need to go into our credentials. Here you can see here that there are 3 types of credentials: Git, deployment platforms, and CI managers. This has to do with different phases of the software development lifecycle. Git for source control, deployment platforms for the deployment phase, like AWS accounts or Google Cloud accounts, and also managers of CI/CD pipelines like Jenkins or GitHub Actions. So in order for a user to create a new to put a new details about a Git account, you can go here and add some information. We are currently supporting Bitbucket, GitHub, and GitLab. The user should also provide the URL, the main URL of its repository, the username, and the token. The token here is a personal access token used by all current platforms for hosting code, like GitHub or GitLab. So you can see here mine, and then we can go and create a new test service. So I can go here to, or either here using this link or this button, and I create a service by clicking in the upper right corner the add icon. I should select one of my Git accounts to connect this service with a specific repository. Then I click next. I'm going to create for this demo a small, simple Node.js application. So I'll put the name here. Okay, in the visibility section, the user can decide if this service that is being created is private or public. Private means that this service is only shared by, is only seen and edited by this specific user, or for between the members of a team that the user belongs. The user can also select for the service to be public, which means that this service will be shared with all users of the SmartCLIDE platform, and can be also crawled by our service discovery module. At this case, I'm going to select the private service. Then I'm going to select the framework. Now, what the framework means. A framework is essentially a set of dependencies, a set of requirements for creating a new environment for our service to be deployed, which means it contains all the dependencies for a specific type of service. For instance, if one wants to create a new Node application, he needs to have installed Node, NPM, and all these things to have the NPM and Node keywords appended with the path environment variable and so on. So all these dependencies are handled, create what's called the framework. So by selecting each of these types of services, we load essentially a dev file that creates a J workspace. As I said in the beginning, our platform is based on the Eclipse C infrastructure. So I select Node, and I can go and add my service. Okay, after the service has been created, we have two options. We can go to the services list and see our service. And we have also a second button that says develop, through which we can go and start putting some code for our service. I will go to the go to services option. Right now, you can see here we have the test node application. And if I go back to my GitLab repository and reload it, you can see here that the test node application has been created. So I can go now and put some code into each of the applications. I have this test node application and a previously created Python service, Python application. So I will open this one. This is the first time I open the test node application here. So right now, what is being done is that it's a workspace is created. So several Docker containers are being launched. So the first time user tries to open the corresponding J workspace in order to work with the service, it would make some time for this setup to happen. But during this time, we can also see the other service that I have created previously. Okay, and this is the test Python service that if it opened, you can see here that the whole editor is the Eclipse C variant, Eclipse C Thea variant of the Eclipse Thea editor. You can see here in the workspace environment that everything that is needed for this Python service is already there. I mean, Python is there. Also, pip package management software is there. So we can go and start creating some put some code there. So I'm going to create a very simple REST endpoints using the Python if framework. So I will go and create a new file. It's called random.py, and I will also open it just here to save some time. Okay. and also a second file which is called settings.py. Okay. It goes there, and if we want to launch it, we can just go and hit Python run.py. This means that we don't have this specific dependency there, so I can go and just install this. Okay, so right now the API is running, and I can go check it here. So this is the result of this very simple, very easy example to see. And also you can see here that these settings, these changes have been identified by the integrated Git manager. I can go and just add, stage all these changes, put the commit message. Then make push of the code. I need to provide my username and also the password. And this code, these changes are then reflected here in my GitLab repository here. So at the same time, I have this specific, the second service, the node service, also opened. And I can go and create very fast a simple node application. Also, you can see here that the workspace is ready. All the dependencies are there again. For instance, you can see that we have the node and also npm. And we can go and create a new example application, nothing fancy, just the toy application that was taken from the node side, just for the demonstration. Then hit node example. The server is running, and we can see the result that the hello world service is there. So what we see that there are right now we have two different services running, the development of two different services. The user didn't need to install anything, didn't need to go and find the dependencies himself, just launch the services, and all the dependencies are there and started working with the code. And this is our first release that integrates some of the services that we have implemented. There is a lot of stuff in the backend that is not there until now, but we are aimed to put an extra functionality in the upcoming releases. For example, we will have here in the editor a smart assistant that will be, for instance, proposing recommendations, code recommendations to the user that will come from our deep learning engine, because our platform integrates machine learning and deep learning algorithms for code recommendations and also service classification. That was the demo I intended to demonstrate. I see that I have 3 minutes or so remaining time for questions. So thank you. And I'm waiting for your questions.
Thank you very much for this demonstration. And you also said you are building or using on Eclipse Theia. Does it mean, are you like contributing to the project, or are you like using it and building something on your own, which will then be released as a open source project on its own? Or can you describe how the plan for this is?
Yeah, right now, let me go back to the presentation. Right now, we are building a few Eclipse 3 extensions, which are essentially built in the core of the, can be built in the core of the Eclipse THEA, of an Eclipse THEA instance. And through these extensions, the user can take the functionalities of our backend services. All these extensions right now are using the mechanism, the extension mechanism of Eclipse THEA. They are already open source.